Oh, sorry. I'll go back. I must have been muted. So I'll go back to Chef Max Hardy. Um, Thank you for letting me know about the volume. So, in case you didn't, of course you couldn't hear, but the website is sourcebooksellers.online.com. The discount code is Detroit is Us. If you go to the website and you search Detroit is Us, the books will appear that are on discount for today. There will be an error, and the error is Black Bottom Saints. That is a very new book. It just came out because it probably is triggering the word Detroit in the search. So the first book that I'm going to go over that is in the Detroit is Us section is Marley Coffee Cookbook. And Chef Max Hardy, a restaurateur of Detroit, did this cookbook with a person in the Marley family, Rohan Marley. And so all of the recipes include some type of coffee to it. And so this cookbook will be found in the selections. And I also said that he has a restaurant in the shipping container on part of Peterborough Street here in Detroit. The next book is The Camping Trip. And The Camping Trip is a beautifully illustrated book. And the author is from, I think, out west. But these children would have the same fun if they went up north and would see the same beautiful skies under their tent and have the same marshmallow treats if they were to camp here in Michigan. And so this book is also on the Detroit is Us list. The next book is by Robert Scoop Jackson, and it's called The Game is Not a Game. And so this is about power, protest, and politics in American sports. This was recommended by many sport enthusiasts, but also people who are interested in how there's an intersection with sports and politics, and we all have our thoughts about what's going on now, what happened with Colin Kaepernick, and even Muhammad Ali has a lot of content to explore in this book. Another book is very important for this time. I know that we just had some news about Flint, and there was a payout for, or possible payout for the water crisis, but where our hearts are really go out to the people of Flint was really the damage of the water has impacted the community and also other communities around the United States that are impacted by environmental racism. But in this particular book, Harriet Washington has an update on COVID, I think. And she also is the author of Medical Apartheid. So this book is now in paperback, and we're very excited for people to read it and have a better understanding. The next book is The Color of Money, Black Banks and the Racial Wealth Gap by Mesra Baradaran. It's one of my favorite books to understand the wealth gap between African Americans and other groups, or especially white Americans, and also the importance of black banks and supporting black banks. So it's a fast read because it's fascinating. Our last book is Curtis Jackson, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. And so we have signed first editions of this book. And so this book will also be available, just like all of the other books that I was mentioning on the Detroit It's Us discount. I am going to go over a few books that aren't on the discount, but are of interest, or books that are we're excited about in the store. Alice Randall, this is Black Bottom Saints. This is a novel, but it does talk about the African American community in Black Bottom and how important it was, and who kind of came through Detroit, and just gives us sort of the heartbeat of Paradise Valley and Black Bottom, and how it was very much before Harlem and as interesting as Harlem. For young adults, we have Jeffrey Crafts. You can see all of the awards on this book. So it's Jeffrey Crafts, The New Kid. If you are interested in graphic books for young people, this is an award-winning book, and it's about school, which is beginning to start, either at home or I guess in buildings, if that's going to be decided. The next book for young people is Bethany C. Morrow. She was the author of the book Mim, which was an adult fiction book. But this is a book for students between maybe 8th and 12th grade, about two little mermaids, and it says that it is a modern classic with this gorgeous tale of friendship and power. There are a mythical world of sirens, gargoyles, and other supernatural creatures. So this would be a good read for a young person. So I spoke earlier about Harriet Washington's book. I'll show it to you again. A Terrible Thing to Waste, Environmental Racism and the Assault on the American Mind. And today that we're really thinking a lot about our health. In particular, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so the more we know, the better. We are at Source Booksellers a nonfiction niche. For our bookstore, we have a little bit of fiction, but primarily our books are nonfiction. And so we have 3 titles that we have been featuring for gaining more knowledge about the pandemic. This is Sonia Sa's Tracking Contagions from Ebola and Beyond. So this has been out for a little while, but it's also a very good read on the topic. And her other book was called Fever. And then we have The Pandemic Century, 100 Years of Panic, Hysteria, and Hubris. This also has epilogue on coronavirus. The probably the most interesting book, and the newest one that we know of about COVID-19 is The Monster Enters. The Monster Enters by Mike Davis. And so this is COVID-19, the avian flu, and the plagues of capitalism. Mike Davis also wrote Prisoners of the American Dream, Politics and the Economy in the History of the United States Working Class. So all of these voices will help us understand what's going on right now. What's my favorite book? Um, Let me think. This book is new, and I guess I would say it's my favorite because I'm reading it right now and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's Begin Again by Eddie S. Glaude Jr., James Baldwin's America, and Urgent Lessons for Our Own. That one. So we have other books on our site that are about Detroit history, like Herb Boyd's Black Detroit or Taya Miles' Dawn of Detroit. Those are always books that we have available. I'll show the books and I'll remind you of the discount. Detroit is Us is the discount code, and I'll show you the books one more time. We have Curtis Jackson's Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter, and we have the signed first editions of those. Mesra Baradaran's The Color of Money, Black Banks, and the Radical Wealth Gap. We have Chef Max Hardy's Marley Coffee Cookbook. Oops. And we have Robert Scoop Jackson's The Game is Not a Game. And last but not least, The Camping Trip by Jennifer K. Mann, author and illustrator. It's a children's picture book. And all of these books are available on sourcebooksellers.com. Oh, well, you can find it on sourcebooksellers.com, but you can go directly to it at sourceBooksellersOnline.com. So if there are any other questions, I will answer them. All right, we're really excited for the 5 o'clock event. Do I have a favorite author? My favorite author is Octavia Butler. She wrote science fiction. I guess the book that is most popular by her right now is The Parable of the Sower and Parable of the Talents, and those two books are apocalyptic, meaning like the end of time, and her timeline from when she wrote it is just, I think, 5 years from now. Makes it interesting. Yeah. And let's see, we also have Sean King's book, Make Change. We have these copies, and I think we may have his event on our YouTube channel, on this channel. So I'll have to check and see. If not, we'll put it there. Also on September 3rd, we're going to be hosting Alice Randall and partnering with the African American Museum for the Black Bottom Saints event. And I will try to put the link, I will try to put the link in the chat if I can. Oh. Oh, saw your video with Sean King on tour. Okay. Corey, I totally agree. That is true about Octavia Butler. Well, I don't think I can get that link in there, but if you go to our Eventbrite, um, you can get the tickets for Black Bottom Saints coming up on the 3rd. And we will be hosting Denzel Michael Smith, or Michael Denzel Smith, for his new book, The Stakes Are High. He's the gentleman that wrote The Invisible Man Got the Whole World Watching. So we're really excited about that on September 18th. So just remember about the discount code. It's until tomorrow. Those books will be 20% off. And they're at sourcebooksellers.online.com. Thank you so much.